And then a synopsis of your career from when you were an undergrad student to now.
Okay. I was lucky enough to be under Gary Lake because he was very involved with the entire OATA, GLADA, and ATA. And he was very close with Dale Googans. So from a freshman on, he brought all of his students to every meeting with them. So we rode with Dale, and we got introduced to everybody that they knew, and they know almost everybody. And it was really a wonderful experience. Dale's a great athletic trainer, great friend, and it just blossomed from there. So that kind of told us about the importance of getting involved. And when you're a people person anyway, you want to meet everybody, and when they knew everybody, it was just a real easy inroad. So I had great mentors. And then meeting Skip Fossler as my first head athletic trainer, I couldn't have asked for a better start.
Yeah.
So it just kind of blossomed from there as to which way I was going to go. And since they were very involved with their students, that I always appreciated that. So I have always had students, even in the clinical setting. Right now, they've given me 2 at a time each semester.
Wow.
Because there aren't too many athletic trainers in our area in the clinical setting. So I agreed to do that because it's not really that hard to deal with 2 folks rather than just one.
How much was your first salary, if you don't mind me asking?
When I started at OU, it would have been 1979. It was $11,000 a year.
Wow.
Before the end of that year, the university realized that they were not paying enough, and we had a salary adjustment, so it jumped to something like $17,900 before the end of that year, which was a nice change because I was not surviving on $11,000. And the job I was doing, I was the coordinator of the graduate program, covering all the sports.
Wow.
And I had a full teaching load.
Yeah.
Okay, it was supposed to be a half-time teaching load, but I had full teaching load. There's 3 or 4 people doing that job right now.
Yeah.
And to think about where I started and where I've come, it's a nice change.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. How did you document things at OU?
You had your daily log sheets in the athletic training room. You wrote out your evaluations. It wasn't anything like documentation really should have been.
Mm-hmm.
We were way behind on. I just don't think we were educated enough on how to document. And that's one of the weak points in athletic training right now that needs to be corrected, but it's coming along.
Yeah.
Because documentation is critical on how well you're going to be reimbursed if we get the reimbursement issues, and how well medical records need to be kept anyway.
Yeah.
For future use.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Would you please explain how your practice or philosophy has changed throughout your career?
I think my practice is the same. It's always my number one priority was to take care of the athlete or the patient, and it always will be. I love patient care. But my philosophy on forming myself and making sure that I was up to date on everything, that's one of the reasons I agree to take students now, because it keeps you on your toes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to ever be left behind or be called an old fogey and doing things the old-fashioned way. I want to know exactly what we can do and what's changing, and it changes all the time. And research shows that the way we treat injuries or the way we treated surgeries, it's totally different now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so much more advanced. So I always want to stay on top of that.
Very cool. Any last comments that you would like to make?
I'm one of those athletic trainers that absolutely loves my profession, and I always will. And if and when I retire, I would probably stay involved with the OATA and NATA because I love seeing what's coming down the pike for all the young professionals.
Awesome.